It's very investor friendly because of our tax-free environment, I would say. We have no income tax, no personal tax, no real estate tax. You have really high ROI, and it's also a very safe cosmopolitan city.
Dubai does not offer just homes or the real estate investment. It offers more than that. Peace of mind, the environment which every investor dreams about it.
Even more into the detail for anybody listening who's potentially sitting on a little crypto, and how does this work?
We send them an invoice, they transfer the crypto to our wallet, instant. Then we convert to dirhams, and then we send it to the seller right there at the registration trustee, and he receives it instantly.
You just need Wi-Fi connection, cup of coffee, and the click of button.
That sounds simple enough.
Yes.
If they're unsure whether this is the place, what would you say to them?
Come and visit Dubai. Have experience.
Welcome to Sobha The Living Room. I'm your host, Nimi Mehta, and today I'm joined by two phenomenal guests. First, joining us, Lynette Sacchetto. With over 25 years of experience, she has been a driving force behind some of Dubai's most important prop tech and data transparency initiatives. Now, as the founder of Real Trust, she is on a mission to reshape the way international investors transact right here in the UAE, securely and, of course, seamlessly. Our second guest joining us is Sanjay Gagarani. He's a finance leader with more than 25 years of experience across the UAE, India, and the Maldives. As a partner of Premier Brains Global, Sanjay is at the forefront of helping businesses navigate tax compliance, e-invoicing, and finance strategy across the GCC. So now you understand why we brought them both to the podcast. It's wonderful to have you both. Lynette, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Sanjay, thank you once again.
Thank you, Ruby.
Look, we have a lot to get through, and we only have about 45 minutes to get through it, and to deep dive into both of your expertise and your years of work in the field. You know, the topic today is a buyer's guide, navigating legal frameworks and ownership types. But we know it goes far beyond that title. There are so many layers to what we are discussing here today. First is first, because we love to set the scene at the beginning of every episode, is why Dubai is so buyer-friendly. It sounds like an incredibly simple question to ask, but as mentioned, many layers involved. Lynette, first thoughts at the top of your head.
It's very investor friendly because of our tax-free environment, I would say, and also how safe Dubai is. So we have no income tax, no personal tax, no real estate tax. The investments here, you have really high ROI. And it's also a very safe cosmopolitan city. So once individuals see and realize that about Dubai, they understand why this is one of the best places to invest in.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanjay, from your point of view, so many years here in the region, things have very much changed over the years. A place that people were kind of unsure about whether to come over here and invest, but now it seems like an absolute must in people's eyes. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, I think, thanks, first of all, once again, Nimi, for having me on the show. See, Dubai does not offer just homes or the real estate investment. It offers more than that. What is that? Peace of mind, the environment which every investor dreams about it. Let me go a little bit deep dive into it. First is the property investment is just for 2 million dirham of investment, you can get golden visa. I mean, where you will find such opportunity in the worldwide. Second is, I think Lynette has just talked about the safety and the stability here. I mean, it's very difficult. The city runs 24/7. On a click of a button, you can get access to all the essentials here. Talk about the taxation framework. I think the leader only touched base. Not only the capital gain taxation, there is no annual property tax. There is no inheritance tax. Back in the UK, US, or any other Singapore also, they have all kind of taxes. So these are the primary benefits for any investor they all are coming to Dubai. They want to have second home, the first home, the third home, now they're calling it. They keep on investing in the Dubai. So these are the fundamental benefits which every investor is looking for. And the most importantly, pricing part of it as well. It's very economical. All sure the now pricing is coming up. Even Dubai government has announced now the pricing and the studies are coming out with the accommodations for the middle management or middle size to the lower income side as well. So that's where many people are now calling Dubai as a home.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's just become easier than ever, hasn't it, to come and invest over here. The information is out there. I have a lot of conversations where friends who don't live here, based in the UK, are saying, "Look, we've got some cash, and we've told Dubai is the place to do it. Is it right? Should I? Should I not?" The stats really talk for themselves in terms of not just foreign investors, but now local residents wanting to invest and I guess root down even more, Lynette.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dubai, especially since COVID, has done an amazing branding exercise for the city. During COVID, we saw a lot of different nationalities come to Dubai as a safe haven from their lockdowns that they wouldn't normally choose as a travel destination. And then they saw, wow, this is a great city, cosmopolitan, beautiful. Price per square foot is much lower than their home countries. They can buy a second property here, income producing property. And this opened up the eyes to many other nationalities that didn't traditionally invest here in Dubai before COVID. Also, more recently, with what I call the Trump effect, we're seeing a lot of individuals want to invest outside of their home countries, either from the US due to what's happening there. We have a lot of clients now from the US or from Europe or the UK, where their currency now is much more stronger. Yesterday, I did a quote for a client for Euro, and it was 4.2. Compared to the dirham. So and a few months ago, it's 3.77. So just to kind of give you an idea of that currency conversion rate, which is much more beneficial for them to invest here in Dubai. So an interesting stat, which I got from the Dubai Land Department last week, is 40% of the investors today here in Dubai are non-residents.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is very interesting. And as you said, we have even residents here who are now, or they have been looking more to solidify and establish roots here and get on the property ladder and purchase property ever since COVID, especially because the mortgage rates have been so attractive. You know, they're anywhere between 3 to 5% here in Dubai. So it's kind of been like that perfect storm of various different factors.
We spoke about a mix of nationalities and, potentially attracting new kind of buyer personas to come on over to the region. Has there been a difference in age, the age demographic that have been buying in, investing in the country, in the region?
Yes. So we deal with foreign investors. That's who our clientele is. And especially those who don't have bank accounts here. So we deal with a very specific group of investors. And what we're seeing is the age group of mid-20 to early 30 who are buying in crypto.
Wow.
So, and we are seeing those age groups. We're even seeing younger individuals buying on behalf of their parents. So buying for their parents or relatives here in the area. So yes, we have seen the change in age group shift. It'd be interesting to see this official data come from the Dubai Land Department. Haven't published it in a few years, but I will encourage them to do so.
Yes, and please report back if you can. That would be fantastic. Sanjay, on that, with Lynette mentioning crypto, since crypto has come about, I don't even know how long it's been now, but you can tell me better to that. Have you seen a connect between crypto and the real estate industry in terms of, it really synergizing, coming together and making it even easier for people to purchase?
Yeah, crypto, I think until few years back, I think I'm not sure that you're aware or not, the VARA is the regulator authority, has already been established in Abu Dhabi. So they want as a UAE as a hub, not only for the real estate, but for the technology-wise also. The AI is coming up. Today morning newspaper, it was there, the 30% of the government job will be taken care of by the AI. The crypto is also, again, the UAE and particularly Dubai is going to be a hub. So we have seen the linking between the crypto and with the property buying interest there. The significantly it has gone up.
Yeah, of course.
I want to add that also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and to add on to what Sanjay just said, is here through VARA in DFSA, they've made it easier to purchase property or just purchase assets through crypto. During COVID, again, I will always go back to COVID because COVID really was a turning point for us here in Dubai. We saw a lot of crypto players come into the market and purchase property. A lot of our clients are crypto clients, and because our platform is VAR regulated, we're able to take that crypto, convert it to dirhams, and conduct that real estate transaction for them. So it's just a lot more easier for them to come into the market and to transact in crypto compared to other real estate markets. Now, I know we are here in Dubai and we're very used to our very convenient digital services. But when you go and transfer a property at the registration trustee with your Emirates ID, you put your thumbprint. If there's a power of attorney, they put their thumbprint. You're in and out within 30 minutes, typically. Depends how busy that day is at the registration trustee. And then you get your title deed within another 30 minutes after that fact. There aren't many cities in the world today where you can transact property like that. So we really have grown significantly, especially leaps and bounds in digitization since COVID.
I think that's so powerful. And, to be even more into the detail for anybody listening who's potentially sitting on a little crypto and hearing you both and saying, well, hang on a second, how does this work? Even I'm interested. What is that step-to-step process? You said you convert it to dirhams, but what is the first process that somebody who does have crypto would make if they are looking to invest here?
So typically our crypto clients are either looking to pay a developer for an installment payment or for a booking form, or they're looking to buy a secondary property and they need our help with the full transaction management and the escrow process, as we call it, to conduct the deal. So basically they contact us, we have the conversation with them, we send them the KYC, we do KYC, AML on them. We make sure everything checks out. Then there's a series of checks on the wallets and the funds that are coming in. We send them an invoice. They transfer the crypto to our wallet instant. Then if there's a secondary transaction involved, which is that escrow process, we have to wait on the time frame for all the other parts to complete. Then we convert to dirhams, and then we send it to the seller right there at the registration trustee, and he receives it instantly. That's crypto in a secondary. To developer, we do everything in less than an hour. So we receive the crypto, convert it to dirham, send it to the developer.
Oh my gosh.
Receive same day.
Yeah, see, I love that we're having this conversation because it sounds so simple the way you're breaking it down, Lynette, but it really is.
It really is. It's very simple. It's not complicated. As long as you have the right platform and you're dealing with the right partners and you're able, the key is obviously to be able to get a very good conversion rate from USDT to dirham. All parties are happy.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, let's dive even deeper then. When we're speaking about ownership types, let's understand that for everybody listening even further. When it comes to freehold properties now, can we just simplify what is freehold ownership, Sanjay?
Before I answer the question, I want to add what Lynette just said about this crypto thing. She has covered our crypto part, but over the traditional. Buying the property in Dubai is no more puzzle. It is very well-defined structure process, and within 7 to 30 days, you can have your title deed. That's how is the structure. The system process is already been established here. She already talked about getting the mortgage. The 3 to 5% you can get a mortgage rate here. And 80% of your property value, you can get the mortgage loan. It is for 10 or 25 years. Where else you will find globally? Now, coming back to your question about the freehold. So, in a nutshell, freehold means freedom, full ownership. Compared to leasehold means you're on a long-term date. You have commitment, but it's not for forever.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's a nice little balance there, isn't it? And that's a beautiful way to put it, actually. And I think it simplifies it for everybody.
So the leasehold, what happened is usually in the estate exists here in UAE, particularly in the old area, Garhood, Bad Dubai, Dera, and some of the Bad Dubai, Mankul area as well, where you can buy the property for 99 years of that lease period. But what happens with the leasehold properties, the moment after 30, 40 years, its valuation becomes challenging because the property is aging and you don't get the buyers for that. But it's ultimately depending on the investor appetite, vision, whether he's looking for the long-term investment or the medium-term. Of course, the leasehold property is far cheaper than I would say, the freehold properties. So that's we have to see we need to review the investor appetite and what he really needs, whether it's for the end use or investor purpose. So we have to do the proper balancing and then we should advise our investor. Most of the Saudi national, GC national, they opt for the leasehold property and they're getting a good return on that. So I would not say the Freehold is the only option, but here UAE, particularly Dubai, is both the option for the investor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, Lynette, when it comes to, let's speak about the benefits of a freehold ownership. 100% ownership, resale flexibility. Talk me through the benefits that really somebody can get out of investing.
So when you're looking and speaking to foreign investors, this is the type of property that they want to hear about because that's what they're used to in their home country. So especially from Western home countries. So freehold, you own the property 100%. If you're in a building, it's strata, so you own your unit and you own parts of the common areas and parts of the land. And this is how you can easily transact. You own the property, and that's what foreign investors want to hear and talk about. So it's really the way that we transact here in the modern world.
Yeah. And I think that when it comes to ownership, generally, the conversation that has been, especially in the newer generations that are coming, we've seen such an influx of entrepreneurs just as a whole because of the importance of ownership. And I think that now it's been passed down through generations that, look, ownership is incredibly important, especially when it comes to real estate assets. Have you seen that within particular cultures, or are we talking this is now worldwide where everybody are recognizing how important asset ownership is?
See, this is as per published data available. 77% of transaction happens preferred by the investor only for the freehold properties. That's the fact. Okay. So most of the investors, they are looking for the freehold properties. If you piece a piece of land, you can construct a bungalow, you can rent it out, you can renovate it, you can inherit it to, like you just mentioned. Yeah. So without any taxation. So most of the interest we have seen in the particularly about the freehold properties only.
It's good to know now because for a lot of people listening who we've convinced them so far that Dubai is the place to do it and how to invest. But let's actually now break down the buying process. It can be really, it feels a bit intense. It feels a bit, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? You can get overwhelmed by it. So Lynette, I think you are the perfect person to help us do this, is a step-by-step guide on all the key steps to buying property here in Dubai. What would be that first step? And then if you can break it down for us.
So typically what the consumer would do or the investors, they will look on the portals first. So they will go to Property Finder or Bayut. And then they start working with an agent. I highly recommend you work with a reputable agent from a reputable company who specializes in that type of property that you're looking for, whether it's off-plan, so under construction property, or a secondary property, which is an existing property. Also, it's very important to do your homework and look at the data, look at the type of properties that interest you from a return perspective. Is this a retirement home? Is this a property you're going to use during the winter? Is this a property that you just want to rent out completely? You don't care to ever use it. Once those questions are answered, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, then you work with the agent that can help you appropriately. Then it's very important to understand all of the fees that are involved in the property transaction. So you have the purchase price. If you're getting a mortgage, you have to register that mortgage with Dubai Land Department, and that's 0.25%. There's a 4% Dubai Land Department transaction fee. There is a trustee fee, which is a government office fee of $4,250, plus the agent commission, which is usually 2%. And then if you're getting a mortgage, there's other fees associated with the bank or the mortgage broker that you're working with, like valuation fees, which range between 2,500 to 3,500 dirhams. Plus any kind of other fees that the banks may have. So fees is very important because before you used to be able to mortgage most of the fees. However, as of the first of this year, you cannot. So the mortgage is purely for the mortgage that you're getting for the property with no fees added into it.
So absolutely none of the fees, nine mortgage.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero. UAE Central Bank crackdown on that. And then after that, your due diligence is very important that you read Form F. I can't tell you how many times clients come to us after they sign Form F, which is a government sale purchase agreement for secondary property, and they haven't read it.
Wow.
And there's additional terms and conditions, and everything's very important, especially if you're getting a mortgage, the valuation, if it's lower than the property value, what happens there? If the buyer defaults, what happens? If the seller defaults, what happens? So there's a lot of things you need to understand from a legal contractual perspective, which your real estate agent or a conveyancer can help you with. And it's just very important to ask a lot of questions and do as much research, especially for foreign investors, as much research as you can online, Google, and also ChatGPT is pretty good. You still need to verify a lot, but you can get some good answers from there.
Great. And I guess the finalizing of ownership then, once you've done Form F, you're committed, everything's aligned, everything's good to go. Is it what we spoke about earlier, which was going to an office do foreign investors need to physically be present here?
No. So for secondary property, there's a lot in between, and that's the transaction management process or conveyancing process. So you have to get an NOC from developer. If you're getting a mortgage, there's a lot involved for the mortgage. If the seller has a mortgage, there's a lot involved to pay off the mortgage and to get a final settlement letter. So there's a lot of steps that have to happen in between. So it's not like, this is why if you're buying with a mortgage, the time frame now is anywhere between 3 to 5 months. If it's cash to cash, you can close it in a week.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And then you go to the trustee office. Once everything is done, you have the final NOC, you have everything satisfied by the trustee office, and then you transfer your title deed if both parties are present. If there's a power of attorney, meaning that the buyer or seller cannot be present, so a foreign investor, for example, then their representative is there. If it's a seller, now there's a new mandate as of last week with Dubai Land Department. The seller POA has to be contacted at the time of transfer if the POA was done outside of Dubai courts. So it doesn't matter where they are in the world. So we had a closing last week. The clients were in Canada. It was the middle of the night, and one didn't speak English. So the trustee office had to conduct the call during the transfer, verify that that seller POA is accurate, and that they want to sell the property. So it takes a little bit of time when you have added layers of complexity like power of attorneys. But if both parties are here, it's after you get through the due diligence or the conveyancing part.
And these minor details, I mean, these things that you said changed last week, are they publicly known, or is that just something that you come across when you actually are in the process?
So Dubai Land Department published it on social media on a Saturday, not this Saturday, but the previous Saturday. And then the registration trustees received an email over the weekend, and it went into effect on Monday. Typically what Dubai Land does is they'll send out a mandate through like a flyer to all the real estate brokers or to the registration trustees as notification. But this went to the trustee offices since they're the ones that have to conduct the actual call. Social media.
Yeah, social media, really. So just to keep up with everything that's going on. Sanjay, we briefly touched on mortgages and you know the option that a lot of investors do take. Have we seen an increase in mortgage uptakes? Is that something that you've seen as of recent?
Yeah, I think let me give you a few more analytics which we were discussing with Lynette earlier. So total transactions the last year in 2024 around 200,000 plus, out of which around 100,000 transactions were the new investors. And out of 100,000 also 46% belongs to the off the plan. Properties are not renewed. And property value increase ranging from 20 to 22%, apartment and villas. Rental yields again from 13 to 20% increase over the last 2 years. So these are the figures which fascinate everyone. So we have seen this, yes, property prices going up and up again. And again, this is all linked to the basic, the population. A total 3.9 million, like Linda just mentioned about this as of now. And the prediction is the kind of the environment that Dubai government is creating, particularly Dubai is creating it, giving the golden visa, the scholarship, they want to create the AI center, want to have crypto capital of the world. So I see the demand is not going to stop soon. I would be seeing property demand is going to stay for some time here.
Lynette, this might seem like a very strange reference, but I've heard that the singer, Adele, mortgages all of the homes that she buys, even though she could buy them in cash.
Smart.
It's incredibly smart. And I looked into that and what that actually means. I would love for you to make our listeners understand what that means, because we have a lot of cash buyers who could, put down a lot of cash just to buy their properties, but they choose not to. And that's for a reason, isn't it?
So with mortgage rates as low as they are here, so like I said, between 3 to 5%, but typical mortgage is like 3.9%. When you compare that to other parts of the world, for example, in the US, I believe it's almost 8% now. So when the mortgage rates are very low, you don't want to pay cash for a property when you're just paying 3.9%. You want to take that cash and use it for something else where you can net higher yields. And that's very plain, simple explanation of why you want your cash for other purposes.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
May I add something here?
Please.
So let's say we want to invest $1 million here, 20% down payment, and take the mortgage for $800,000. $800,000 you can invest in the global bond market, and you can get decent 8 to 9% return. And the mortgage costs, just Lynette mentioned, around 4% approximately, and the rental yield is around 6 to 7%. So still you're a positive side of it. So that's the maths behind it. So no one wants to put their own money capital into the real estate. That's the benefit. So they're earning the rental yield as well as the investment on the global bond.
Yeah.
So that's how you multiply the income.
Oh, it absolutely makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. Look, I think there's many people, as mentioned earlier, that we would have convinced. However, some not so much, still not convinced. I do want to, get into actually a bit further the perks that come along with investing in this country. We touched on it earlier. We spoke about the lifestyle. We spoke about the safety. There's actual residency perks. The Golden Visa program has been so phenomenal for the region. It keeps growing. There seems to be just incentive after incentive for people to come over here. Of course, this is intentional. Of course, we are bringing the people in to show them the good life, Lynette. But this Golden Visa program, can we make anybody listening understand what that actually is and what that means after they invest?
So when you purchase a property in Dubai, so Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, Abu Dhabi all have different rules. But in Dubai, that's worth 2 million dirhams or more. So worth either you bought it for 2 million dirhams or more, or you do a valuation if it's an older property and it's worth 2 million dirhams or more, you are eligible for a 10-year golden visa. And with this 10-year golden visa, you don't have to exit every 6 months. You can come whenever you wish. And it's a very lucrative, good visa to have here in Dubai.
It's because I guess the question has always been I had moved here 8 years ago, and this was never a conversation. It was renewing your visa every year to every 2 years. It got a bit difficult at times, for a lot of us. And you both can speak to this as well. And now with this incentive, not just for foreign investors, but for those that are actually here, that have been invested in this country for many, many years, how great has this program been to be second, third, even fourth time investors?
I think I just gave you the mathematics behind it, right? So let me touch base. So the golden visa is not for the investor. This includes family, which means the spouse and children. Top of that, you can sponsor for house support as well. Now, getting the visa is the only one part of it. The secondary is this is the gateway to start your business here. That's what Dubai government want. They want to attract the most talented people on this planet to come and settle down to Dubai. So we have seen the trend also, those who start with the business, when they see the city, when they see the business opportunity, they start business here. So this is a connection between the real estate investment plus setting up the business here. So we have seen the surge, a number of surge in there, because we have a lot of clients, but they just come and buy the property. Later they see, okay, there is a trading opportunities available. Let me start something, some investment opportunity available. So there are a lot of businesses happening that way. So just real estate, because the entire ecosystem will help here, right? The moment you have a lot of people, the property prices means your cement prices, your all the industry, let's say, talk about the furnitures and everything will boom. Top of that, now it's also about they need, when they're here, they need the food, they need a car, they need, you talk about anything, all the industry is booming at the moment. I think that's so that, and a lot of traffic as well.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. Yes. We've all noticed that for sure.
So it's the entire ecosystem is helping the real estate market. It's not only about the real estate. So you have to think about your clothing, you talk about the furnitures, everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of new business. I think if you see the data, if you analyze data, the number of properties buyer versus the new business setup, there is a link between the two different data set, which we already analyzed.
Yeah, and just to actually go even deeper into this, because I'm glad you mentioned it, the entrepreneurs and the businesses that are, opening up office here, setting base here, Lynette, because then that conversation starts of, okay, not just residential properties, but commercial properties. as well, and an increase in that. Is there anything that you can share from your experience in that front?
So from a commercial perspective, we are actually at a shortage. So the demand is very high and the supply is extremely low. And this has been a challenge for us, I would say, over the last 2 years. There was obviously efforts in commercial projects in freehold areas before COVID. During COVID, that obviously stopped. Developers were pivoting into townhouse villas and expanding in more areas due to demand. And today, there's only 13 projects under construction for commercial.
Wow.
Yeah. So occupancy is at 98%. Grade A properties you cannot find. They're immediately leased as soon as the project's announced. So we are still very much struggling with office space. We cannot personally find offices to save our lives here. So
why is that then? There is such a demand.
they're catching up.
Okay.
Catching up.
Yeah.
I remember when Emaar was building Dubai Hills and that commercial space there. This was 2018 when it was 17, 18 when it was launched. A lot of people in the industry were like, "Well, why would there? Is commercial needed? There's an oversupply, and it's a very high demand product.
Yeah.
There's zero available." We're completely out of shortage today. So developers, and also it's very difficult to find plots of land now to develop. So either the owners of the plots are asking very high prices or they want to do JVs. So that's another issue.
Interesting. Okay, so hopefully we'll see a rush come through in the next few years because the people wanting it and needing it. Absolutely. We've spoken about ownership, what that looks like, a step-to-step guide on how people can invest here, foreign investors, but also based here. I want to now break down the common buyer challenges and what they can expect to come across and how to actually handle them. And then, of course, we'll end on a positive, the solutions to these challenges as well. Lynette, to speak specifically to foreign investors, what are the challenges that they would come across? Because we spoke about all the great things, but let's be realistic as well.
So the biggest challenge that a foreign investor has is they don't know how to bring the funds here to Dubai to buy the property, or if they're selling a property, how to send it back home. Mm-hmm. This is a pain point that I've seen in the market for 20 years since I've been here, and something that we decided to focus on when we started Real Trust. So for foreign investors to bring their funds here and buy property, they either need a bank account, and as we all know, as a non-resident, you cannot open up a bank account. So how else do they bring it? So before, they were sending it to the brokers or to the brokerage accounts, which is a third-party fund transfer and against UAE central bank regulations. So accounts were getting frozen, fines were being issued by Dubai Land Department. The other option is a broker had a friend who knew someone that can accept the funds and produce a manager's check. So one of the things that Dubai Land Department, as part of Sheikh Hamdan's real estate strategy initiative of 2033, is to fully digitize the real estate transaction process. So make it cashless and fully digital. So manager's checks to get rid of it. So this is another pain point and something else that I personally wanted to focus on in helping foreign investors with their issues. So the fun part, which is the very big part, has been an issue. We've been able to solve that, but obviously we don't handle the entire market. Another very big part, especially for foreign investors who aren't quite familiar with the areas or the processes and how things work, is when you go to the portals, you have multiple agents listing the same property. Now, I know Dubai Land Department has worked very closely with the portals to fix the fake listing issue, as we call it, but it still needs to be a little bit more of a seamless process, because that pain point is still there as well. This is why I say it's very important to find a really good real estate agent and work with them, or if you're looking for off-plan, do your due diligence, your homework on the developer, and understand what that developer, their track record, and what they're offering. It's very important.
Yeah.
There's many more, but I would say these are the top ones.
No, that's great. And I think that in terms of, a lot of investors, Sanjay, will be thinking, okay, but I've been hearing rumors about market fluctuations. I've been hearing this, I've been hearing that. Is there a season to invest here in the UAE? When should I do it? What would you say to that?
I think you already hit the point, like when. Is it right time to invest in property, or should I wait for this war between the China and the US? I mean, that's a very basic question, and every investor look for that. So our advice is always be, I mean, don't look for the timing. What is the investor perspective? Is it short-term visit, long-term visit? Let's lock for that one only. So you can't be timing-wise, you can't be right. I mean, who can invest in the share market at that lowest level? No one, right? So that's our advice is you don't focus on the timing, focus on their long-term vision and perspective. You're happy with the project, you're happy with the developer, you have the right agent, we're working with them, let's go for it. So there's no perfect timing.
Yeah, there never is.
No.
I always say now. Yeah. But when they ask, I always say now. Just do it. And they're like, well, didn't we miss the opportunity? Nope. There's still more opportunity down the road now. You got to do it now.
Yeah, and you'll still be saying the same thing in 2 years' time.
Exactly.
Because what we had touched on earlier, Lynette, was a lot of upfront costs. And from an investor's point of view, how do they tackle that, I guess, with these DLD fees, the down payments, everything that you've raised? Can you break that down, the balancing those upfront costs and how an investor can justify it and actually make it make sense for them in their investment?
So if we're dealing with investors from either Europe, US, UK, Canada, their costs back home are much higher, especially when it comes to agent commissions and the property tax. So agent commissions in those countries are between 5 to 6%, and property taxes are 8% plus. So here, it's much more affordable, much cheaper to invest in. The best thing to do is when you're sitting and you're looking for a property with either a developer or for off-plan or a secondary property with an agent is you ask them to do a statement of account. Mm-hmm. Very simple. You list all the fees that's going to be involved. So it's very clear to you on what you need to come to the table at closing.
Okay. And I do want to ask you, because I think this is a very important point, and I feel like people who are listening will be like, why didn't you ask this question? Lynette mentioned it. But you did say earlier, find the right agent to help you go through this whole process. What is the criteria? Are there any particular questions that investors should be asking to find out if they are the right agents?
So in today's age of technology, so the portals have their special agents profiles. I think Property Finder is called super agent, and Bayut is a true broker, I think. Anyways, look at their profile, look at the areas that they specialize in, but also go to social media. So go to Instagram, go to TikTok, see what these agents are talking about. The ones that are very data centric and can break down the ROIs for you and the different areas and where you can do better. Or these are the ones that you really want to focus on. It's unfortunate for those who are not comfortable in front of a camera on Instagram or TikTok, but in today's day and age, this is part of the real estate game. You need to be out there. Also the brokerages. So looking at the various brokerages that are available here in Dubai, going to the Dubai Rest app, seeing how they're rated. Dubai Rest app is available to everyone around the world, as well as how the individual agents are rated. And then just looking at their backgrounds. Everyone's on LinkedIn. Everyone has some kind of profile out there.
Yeah, I like that. So if you are listening, investing here in Dubai is simple and easy enough. Right guidance, understanding, and being informed, I think, is the most important part. Doing your research, doing your due diligence. Look, I think this is a great time to tee off the episode, to understand both of your expertise looking forward and into the future of what the region and what we mean to the global real estate industry as well. Future trends that you're looking at, Sanjay, in terms of your expertise with digital property transactions as well. You mentioned AI. Where is the team thinking on that front?
Maybe what I think is that in going forward for any property transaction, you just need Wi-Fi connection, cup of coffee, and the click of button, the mouse.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
Yes, that's how going to happen. So what the way land department, commonly known as the DLD, they are having to have connected your agents, banks, land department, property developer. Now imagine that once they have this network, all will flow through electronically. Understand that for the mortgage application, no need to fill any manual application, meeting any mortgage advisor. All are available, connected. So land verification, property verification, all electronically can happen. And the moment it has been done, so immediately fund can be transferred from the banks to for mortgage perspective, and even for the foreign buyer perspective also, they can also link to that infrastructure. So they're building it. This is blockchain technology. I think it was there some time back. Like Lena just mentioned, they are coming out. So it's going to be 100% digitization going forward. And it's an exciting time ahead.
It really is. It sounds it. Because for a lot of foreign investors, Lynette, not actually being on ground, not being able to see the space, albeit just being an investment for them, they're probably never going to live in it. It really is just one of those units or assets that they are holding. But still incredibly important for them to know exactly what they're buying. These virtual property tours, this real estate innovation that has just come through that just makes it so much reassuring for these foreign investors. Do we see a huge trend in investment in that?
This is where I see the younger generation looking at Dubai for investment, because typically around the world, statistically, the younger generation don't believe in buying property. They're not stable in a job or any place for 2 years. That is the stat. So to buy a property that's going to hold them down, it's not ideal in their mind frame. So the younger generation that is coming here to Dubai, they are doing so because either they can buy in crypto, it's digitized, and of course high ROIs. And Dubai has done an excellent branding exercise. So they're the ones that Dubai is tapping into, like with the various TV shows, what's happening on social media. We had a client a few weeks ago that was talking about the Amar ad that he saw in his home country. So it's very interesting what digitization and technology has done. So we have digitized our entire experience for our clients down to the transfer process. So we don't use manager's check. Everything is wire transfer to wire transfer. So we're trying to contribute to that digitization space and to Sheikh Hamdan's real estate strategy. I don't have a crystal ball. And I always say this. However, previously years, I was able to more or less kind of predict what I think would happen in the market. Today is very hard because of the several macroeconomic factors that we have, the Trump effect now, how currencies are trending. Yesterday, the dollar was it never fluctuates, and it was going crazy. It was very, very volatile. And also geopolitical, even though I always feel Dubai is that Switzerland of the Middle East, so we don't really get affected when things happen in the region. However, population growth since COVID has been 100,000 per year, according to Dubai Statistics Center. Last year was 164,000. We're at 3.91 million today here in Dubai. So there's a lot of factors in place. There's a lot of supply under construction here in Dubai. And the government continues to be very proactive and issue regulations to draw SMEs, draw the big companies here, the international firms here, as well as individuals here. So I don't see anything changing in the next few years significantly unless there's a significant world event.
Absolutely. And I think that really nicely sets the tone for our listeners, because I think it's clear by what Sanjay and Lynette have shared with us today that Dubai really is the gold standard of the real estate industry. And if there is one parting note that you would like to leave with our listeners, Sanjay, I'll start with you. If they have any doubts, if they're unsure whether this is the place, what would you say to them?
Come and visit Dubai. Have experience and decide.
Thank you. Lynette,
Call me.
she's your girl. She knows exactly what she's talking about. I want to thank you both so much for joining us, for sharing your expertise. We're so grateful for your time. In the next episode of Sobha The Living Room, we sit down with a familiar face from inside Sobha, someone who's helped shape the brand's growth from the inside out. We'll unpack why global buyers continue to choose the UAE and how relationships, culture, and vision play into building a real estate legacy. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube or following us on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss it. Thank you for listening.